Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and thanks for joining us in this edition of your favorite educational talk show, Facts and Realities of Education. In Facts and Realities of Education, we discuss educational issues that affect the progress of our educational system. We look at issues that interrupt the government from attaining its goal. Here with me in the studio, we have two beautiful ladies to talk about the frequent change of teachers in our educational system. Madam, Mr. Sobo, you are welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Madam Raimato, you are welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Today we want to look at the frequent change of teachers in our education. This idea of changing teachers frequently, do we really experience it in our schools, Mr. Sobo?
Yeah, we do experience it in our school. Most of the schools, especially the private schools.
Lay private schools?
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, Madam Raimato.
Yeah, it's not only the private schools, but also the public schools.
Yes.
But this thing is more in the private schools.
Yes.
So the thing have to stop, sincerely.
It has to stop, like she's saying. So according to you, what is the source of, what is the reason behind this frequent change of teachers?
For me, Mr. Vinicius, I think that the change of teachers can be on the teachers himself or the proprietor or the students.
Yes.
For the teachers can decide to leave the school just like that. Maybe they got something better, or the proprietors, the working conditions, because the working conditions can push the teacher to leave the school, to change, that means to leave the present school to go to another school. Also for the students, how the students can like say no, we don't need this teacher, because they are fond of that. Students are really fond of that. For example, you bring a teacher in the class, a new academic class, just the look. There are some students that if you are not beautiful, you are not a beautiful teacher, you are not a beautiful madam, they will not accept you. They'll just like tell the proprietor that we don't need this madam, let her go. And everything that the teacher will say, the student will not listen.
Correct.
So that can cause the change of teachers.
Yes, Mr. Sobo, what can be the reason why students, according to you, students can decide to say that we don't want this teacher?
Yeah, maybe the teachers' teaching methods and techniques are not good for them. You know, with education nowadays, we need to like vary our teaching methods and techniques to suit the student.
Yes.
And to make the teaching learning process go lively.
Yes. And then on the part of the administration, like she indicated, why do you think that the administration may like ask a teacher, please, we may not need your services again? Why? What can be the cause?
As my colleague on the other hand said, the student can decide that we don't need this teacher anymore.
Yes.
The proprietor on his part or the administration will also like succumb to it, because nowadays in most of our schools the students are the #1 priority.
Correct. But then if the problem is from the teacher, then I think the administration should be right, because if that teacher is not up to the task, is it not possible to say that please go, your services are not up to our required standard? Can we really blame the administration for taking such a step, like asking a teacher to go?
Yeah, Mr. Venatius, we cannot blame the administration, but to an extent we can blame them. Yeah, from the very beginning. Like, let me say, at the beginning of an academic year,
yes,
most of those teachers who are being recruited in these private schools, they have to go through so many tests. What I mean here is that they go through the oral testing, the written one, and the practical one. That is in the classroom.
All this to determine the quality,
the qualities
of the teacher, to determine the level of the teacher.
Yeah.
But you realize that the reality on the ground is different from what may take place during those interviews, because the classroom situation may not be, you may be intelligent, but the problem is passing across the message. So do you think that interview on its own, will it be enough to like cut those boundaries where we say that no, this teacher cannot make it?
Yeah, I understand you well, but to an extent it will it will do good.
Yes.
Yeah, because in most of our private institutions, they don't go detailing in like interviewing the teachers which they are recruiting. Some of them just go into the oral testing. They don't bother about the written one, about the practical.
Now, but let's look at from the part of a teacher.
Yeah, before that, Mr. Vinascius, I want to add something on what she just said.
Yes.
You know, nowadays, especially the private lay school,
yes,
the private schools, they take schools to be business. They will just like bring in their brothers, their sisters,
their brothers who are not
really apt.
Yes.
They don't have the
qualification,
the
know-how
to teach the child.
Yes.
You know, some people, they believe that going to teach is just like, I don't have a job, let me just go and manage there. You need to be professional, and also you need to be like, you love the job, because if you don't love the job, you will not be able to handle the students. And if you don't handle them, obviously they will change you.
Yes.
They'll change you. So the blame should not be only on the proprietor, also the teachers.
Okay. Now, when we look at this evidence of teachers leaving schools, we want to find out what is the effect of teachers leaving a school.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Vinascius. One of the effects I know is that the students' needs are not being met. Yeah, because it will take a long time for the new teacher coming in to adapt to the system. Most of the times, the new teachers, they don't really understand the student. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Vinascius?
On the student, what is the effect of that teacher leaving the school?
So,
because when we talk of leaving the school, we should be concise here. Leaving the school within the course of the year.
I really love that topic.
Yes.
And let me handle it the way it can be handled.
Yes.
Mr. Vinascius, I think that it will have very, very negative effect on students in particular, and the school in general. Because the student, for example, you are used to with a particular teacher, you adapt with the teacher, but suddenly the change can be also because of the school. For example, if they don't pay you well, you think you will stay
those
there?
are like she said, working conditions.
With the working conditions, if they give you 1,000 francs, that's what I heard. They used to give 1,000 francs to teachers to teach per hour. You don't know what it is. If the working condition is not good, seriously, the child will leave, the teacher will leave, and that will affect
the students.
That's
what we want to look at. Okay.
Yep, it will affect the student psychologically, and you know, the next teacher will come. If the teacher that the first teacher left because of the working condition, and the teacher is good, the teacher loves the job, the next teacher that will come maybe because the teacher doesn't have a job, the teacher is just coming for the meantime. If it is an examination class, I'm sure that particular subject will have a problem.
We should look at both sides too. When we look at the student, we look at the teacher.
Yeah.
Imagine the teacher who is maybe around February, March. Your proprietor just tells you that, Miss, we are sorry, we cannot cope up with you again. How does that affect you?
As a teacher?
As a teacher, yes.
Now, it will have a great impact in my life.
Yes.
Because it can
impact
lead
positively or negatively?
Negatively.
Yes.
It can lead to frustration, because before the beginning of the academic year, I have planned my life based on the job I have at hand. So, a proprietor by January, February asking me to leave is like putting me into total confusion and frustration.
Yeah, to add to that, Mr. Vinascius, that's why I used to advise teachers that you must have a contract. If they employ you at the beginning of the year, you must like do your best to, especially the proprietor, they should allow the teachers to like finish the year, because as she said, you have planned your life. You may have another opportunity to teach in another school, but you prefer to teach in his school, and he will just send you out, fire you, just like that, because of no reason.
No reason according to you, because when you say no reason,
if he's the one sending the child away, the teacher away,
yes,
it means that the reason is not like good for him to send the child away.
Don't you think that you may be suffering? Don't you think that you may be suffering from your lack of? You know, you are not up to the task what they needed from you. Maybe the proprietor thought you were going to teach mathematics, and unfortunately, you are not teaching the mathematics the way it is expected. Don't you think that?
Mr. Vinicius, if the teacher, that's a very nice question. If the teacher, if the proprietor realized that at the beginning of the year, maybe by November, they realize that you don't teach, but they cannot come and tell me that February you cannot teach well. You've spent more than 3 months with the children, and they come and tell you February you cannot teach. That's nonsense.
Correct.
Seriously, that's nonsense. That's to like frustrate the teachers. But they have to know that teaching is a very good profession.
And like
you must respect it.
And like you said, you talked about the idea of contract. Is that a reality in our context, especially in lay private schools?
I don't believe so much in contracts.
Okay.
Yeah.
You don't believe so much in contracts. Just talk more.
As for me, when I'm going into a school and they want me to like sign a contract, I don't abide to it.
Yes.
Because most of our proprietors nowadays, they use it as a bridge to penalize us. Because I can start the academic year with him, having some other things, or along the way, I have some difficulties. I decide to leave. Instead, he will use the contract against me.
So you would prefer to teach without a contract?
Without a contract, and I do my work well.
Don't you think that contract also protects you in as much as it does for the proprietor? In as much as it is a defense for the proprietor in the case you leave? Is it not a defense too if the proprietor, we are talking about the case asking you to leave?
To leave.
Won't it like protect you?
It will protect me, but to me, I believe in giving my best.
Yes.
Yeah. Because when a proprietor just get up one morning and say, "Madam, we don't need your service here, you have to go," he has some backups, as we earlier mentioned. So,
but I think that with the contract, I'm not against your proposal.
Yes, madam.
I'm just like wishing that they should see like me, other teachers to see like me, that you need to sign a contract. It will protect you personally, the teachers. It will protect you, because if you, as I just earlier said, if they ask you to leave in the midst of a year, right, Mr. Vinicius, are you understanding me?
I'm following.
So if they just ask you to leave and you have your contract and you are well, you know that you do your job, your students defend you that you do your job, why will you leave? They have to give you the money that you can survive for the rest of the academic year. So that's very, very important for me. I believe that to sign a contract at the beginning of the year is more advantageous to the teachers than the proprietors.
Okay, the teacher. Okay, yes, madam, go ahead.
Yes, Madam Ramatu, I got you well, but the hour of today, the society of today, most proprietors, they usually like use their powers to suppress the teachers.
So the right of the teacher does not count?
It does not count.
Even with the contract?
Yes, it does not count. You as a teacher, you may sue him to court, but he will like use his background to suppress you.
Anyway, that's
so I believe in doing my work and doing it perfectly.
Yes.
If my proprietor gets up one morning and say, "Madam, we don't need your services anymore," then I go my way peacefully.
Correct.
Yeah, because I believe the Bible says we don't back evil for evil.
Correct. That's what the Bible says. we look at the effect of this frequent change of teachers to the institution concerned. How does it affect the school?
You know, Mr. Vinicius, I still give you a big up for the topic.
Yes.
That's a very nice topic.
Yes.
Changing teachers frequently in a school, especially private schools, that doesn't show the seriousness of that school.
Yes.
If you change your teacher more than 3 times a year, parents are watching by their children. If you see a child just like doubting that, why is it that this teacher is going, and why is that our madam left? Why is that our best madam left, or our best teacher left? They'll ask themselves the question. They mean that the problem is really from the school. If they see that the madam is teaching well, so really that will really affect the school. Because
in what way, really concretely, how does it affect?
They will not, maybe by next year
the enrollment will change.
They'll change.
The enrollment will drop because it adds like a stain to the institution.
Exactly.
It will be the talk of the town.
Yeah.
People will even talk about it in their meeting houses.
Do you know what, Mr.
Well, there are
Vinicius?
parties.
Do you know what? There's what we call Facebook now.
Yes.
For example, a teacher.
Social media.
Social media.
Yes.
A teacher, for example, like me, I go and teach in one institution, a private day school, and they just send me out. I unconsciously, with anger, I take my phone, type, I taught in this school, and I just give a sabotage of the school. Do you think that next year, and millions of people are on Facebook?
Yes.
Do you think that next year teachers, students will come? Even teachers, maybe they'll be scared to go and teach in that school if they even employ them. So I think that proprietors, they should gain conscious. Take your teachers, your employees or your employer, the employees like goals, especially teachers, because teaching is a noble profession and you must respect it.
Let's get something here. Let's get something, Ms. Asobo. What is the wisdom that lies behind keeping your teachers? Why do you think that schools should keep their teachers?
The working conditions will go smoothly.
Yes.
Yeah, for example, if I'm working with Madame Ramatu,
Yes.
yeah, this year, next year, I'm already used to her.
Yes.
I will not have any problem again to like work with her hand in hand.
Yes.
But if another teacher comes in, I'll be like forced to study her, to like tell her about the school, the rules and regulations governing the school.
Now, but for the student, how would that? We are looking at it from the positive point of view.
Yeah.
How would keeping a teacher help the student?
I think that if you have a teacher for a year, that is from September to the end of the
In May, because the school year ends in May, June.
September to May. I think that it will be of great benefit to the students.
Yes.
Because they will master the teacher. They know the characters, the way the teacher
The methods of teaching of that teacher.
The methods of teaching.
Yes.
That's it. So the students will be like, I'm sure the school will like have a very great percent, especially in that particular subject, if the class is an examination class.
Okay, let's look at, does this effect of changing teachers, has it got any incident, any bearing on the parent? Is there anything, has it got anything to do with the parent?
Yeah, the teachers are stressed up.
Yes. I mean,
They
the
look-
parent.
Yeah.
Yes.
The parents, yeah, sorry for that. The parents are stressed up.
Yes.
Because they are the one paying the fee.
Yes.
They work hard to earn the money. And as a parent, if I remove a huge sum of money to pay my child's school fees and at the end of the year the child does not make it, yeah, I'll be embarrassed.
Yes.
Sabina shows.
Yes.
You know, they used to say, a hungry man is an angry man. If you don't handle your teachers, they go to class, they misbehave with the students. Do you think that the student will stay quiet? They'll go and tell the parents. If they tell the parent will like be say, oh, I cannot send my child to where he's not comfortable. So they will like remove the child from there. So the parents are really, really concerned about it. So when changing teachers, you have to make sure that parents like must like, how can I say it, Mr. Vinicius?
Yeah, just to add to that, Madam Ramato, you said the students will be stressed up and be forced to move to another school. Yeah, that is an important aspect of it. And it will lead to what we call academic trauma. The students will be traumatized. When they leave from one school to another, they will see new teachers and they will need to adapt to the teaching methods and techniques of that teacher. And you know, in our society today, especially in the private sector, I love the private sector so much.
Of course.
Yeah, especially in the private sectors, the syllabuses are not the same. When a student leave from this school and go to another one, the student will find this issue of repetition. There are some topics that have been taught already in the other school, and when he moves to another school, since academically he's traumatized, he'll be forced to like repeat some lessons and topics.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Now let's look at it. Has parents got any influence? Like parents, do parents have any influence on this frequent change of teachers in schools, where there's something that exists like Parents Teachers Association? Now, do parents have any influence to like control the frequent change of teachers in the schools where their children are? Do they have any influence? Do they have a say?
Yeah, they have a say, especially
Yes.
during the meeting.
Yes.
When a child comes back home and tells the mother that, Mom, they have changed our literature, madam.
Yes.
And the child must give the reason. When the mother gets the reason,
Yes.
go to when it is the day of the meeting.
PTA.
PTA meeting.
PTA
Yes.
meeting.
Yes.
She will express it there.
So you are like saying that parents have the duty. Is that the right or duty?
Yeah, the duty.
Yes.
To the right, I mean,
Yes.
the right to like say something in this change of teachers.
Remember, we identified this frequent change of teachers mostly in lay private schools, and you know that lay private schools are like personal business.
Yeah.
So I don't know how would that parent be would it be right to stand up and question the way I run my business? That's what that's
You know,
Madam Ramatu, to an extent.
You used to say that look, in French they say le client est roi.
that the customer is the king.
The customer is the king.
Yes.
If you are not satisfied, you need customers. To attract your customers, you need to
Satisfy the customer.
Satisfy the customers.
Yes.
So if I your customer, I come to you, I tell you that please, I don't need that you should put pepper in my food.
Yes.
Remove this pepper or put this pepper. If you do it, I'm sure that you have satisfied me.
Yes.
So parents,
and next year you come.
you next year I will even inform others. So parents have a say in this issue of changes teachers. For me, that's what I think.
Madam Ramatu, I'm not denying the fact, but remember, he said we are in the lay private school.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a private business.
Yeah.
As you said, you don't like pepper in your food, and if they put pepper, you leave. Others will come.
Okay. Now, so dear parents, we wish to come back to you to indicate that you need to take the destiny of your children at hand. It is not because it is a private business that you just sit around, see providers toasting the future of your children up and down. But then, when we look at it, what can we tell teachers who, because we identified somewhere that some teachers decide to leave in the course of the year, like a teacher, what is that moral obligation that you have to make sure that you don't breach the gap, you don't breach the contract you signed? Because when we talk of contract, we are not necessarily saying signing a document. Just the fact that you have taken the timetable and the chalk to go to class and teach is already a contract you are signing for the whole year. Now, what do you tell these teachers who, within the course of the year, decides to abandon that contract, decide to abandon the students and move away? What do we tell them?
Yeah, my advice to this type of teachers is that they should like take the profession at hand. What I mean here is, I'm talking of the professional consciousness. When a teacher is not professionally conscious, there's no need. So I'm pleading on behalf of all the teachers out there that they should like love the profession. They should be professionally conscious. When you are professionally conscious, you don't see any need of quitting your job at the course of the year.
Correct. We are looking at professional consciousness. And please let me try to get something here. You know, in this lay private education, most of the teachers are, I want to say, are not teachers as such, in the context of they did not go through a teaching training.
Yeah.
Now, because they graduated from the university, they have to teach to earn, to make a living. Now, don't you see that it is because of the economic crisis that we have that like push some teachers into this field, and they would like they don't master this concept of professional consciousness that you are talking of, because some of teachers may not even know.
Add something from what she just said. She talked of professional conscious.
Yes.
It simply means you have to have passion in what you are doing.
Yes.
If you go in because you don't have a job, you go and teach. You must love it.
Yes.
So far you are already in. You must love it because it's your job and you must love your job.
Not only passion, Madam Ramatu,
Yeah.
passion and patience.
Exactly.
Passion and patience.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you must love it, and you must put first of all in your head that you are a teacher, you are a blessed person. No matter the salary, you are a teacher. You are the teacher of a doctor,
Teacher of the president, teacher of a priest, teacher of a pastor, teacher of a farmer.
My dear brothers and sisters, my dear colleagues, take your job with passion, with love. That's the word. I love that word, passion. Take it with passion. If you want to do it with your, take your best energy. You do it and you do it well.
Apply, ladies and gentlemen. I feel
Apply your best energy.
I feel that these teachers are like seducing us into this profession. But let's come in, Miss Asobo. What do you mean by this patience, this quality, this virtue of patience?
What I mean by passion is that once you have the passion, you will learn to like persevere, and persevering till the end of the academic year.
Yes. So we are like telling them, whatever the situation, don't give up.
Exactly.
Continue and see the students to the end of the year.
It's so nice to be with children.
Yes.
Especially intelligent students.
Yes.
You go to a school, you are stressed up. You go to class, you meet students, you just like, oh, they just like make you laugh and the rest. So you must take a very serious note with this profession. Teaching is the best profession.
Okay, we are like rounding up. Let's look at the idea on proprietors. What do we tell proprietors, please, in a few seconds, because our time is almost up?
Yeah, what I have to tell the proprietors out there is that we should not mix familiarity with our business. I know it is a business, but for us, it's a profession.
Thank you so much. Yes, Miss Madam Raima, to your last words.
Yeah, my last word is that to proprietors, they should handle their teachers well, because we don't know tomorrow. Maybe the teachers you see today, and they are even teaching your children, so you should just like handle them well, because they are the best profession.
Thank you so much, ladies. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being there. We have come to the end of this edition. Next week, we will be coming back with another topic, interesting one, of course, on education. Have a blessed day. See you next week.